everyone, and welcome back to episode 38 of my F1 2016 career mode, episode 8 of my Sauber career mode, guys. And today we're here at the Baku Grand Prix, the European Grand Prix, you know, the new track on the calendar. Not really too sure how the Sauber is going to cope here. You know, I'm not feeling too confident about turn 8, guys, I won't lie. You know, I'm not going to try and build myself up with confidence. But if you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe for more F1 2016 content on the channel. So we can see Scuderia Ferrari did a lot of upgrades moving on into this Grand Prix, but we might actually upgrade our car here. Just having a little look down the upgrades. What can we do? We can buy any upgrade we want at this race, so obviously we want to do so that it'll help the car. So we've actually gone with the engine, sorry, the chassis there even, and that will hopefully improve, ready for Austria next time out. But still, just coming down this long front straight then on my track alignmentation lap, we're only going to be able to set green here as we unfortunately got two reds. One was because turn 8 is completely messed up on this game, guys. So unfortunately about that. But then moving on to my qualifying sim lap, and we're going to easily get the green. We might even get the purple if we're lucky. No, we only settled for green there, which is a bit unfortunate in the end, but still, you know, that was still a good time all in all there. So, you know, we got the practice done. You know, we've got all the R&D points that we needed to get there. Unfortunately, obviously, we didn't max out the R&D. I don't think we got all the ejectors as well. But just having a look at how many R&D points we now do have. As you can know, we're just going to, I think it's going to be just over 300 if I have a look correctly. 302 points there, you know, pretty damn spot on if I do say so myself. So that'll mean next time out we will be able to hopefully get another upgrade down on the car. But having a look now, my race woman lady has given me a new rival now. So not too sure who this will be. It is going to be Felipe Massa from Williams, which is an incredibly tough rival. I won't lie, guys. You know, he's in a lot better car than myself. He's in the 4th quickest car. I'm in the 8th or 9th quickest car still, which probably, you know, won't bode well for me. It's solely done on how many points you've got, and it picks the one driver above you. And if you top the standings, it picks the one driver below you. So yeah, that was a little bit, you know, of an interesting call there by the team to make Felipe Massa my rival. Not sure whether we're going to be able to beat him, but we'll obviously have to wait and see. But then moving on then into Q1, guys, you know, I was hoping that we can make it into Q2 today once again. You know, we had some good form over the last couple of races, but they have been two tracks that either the AI are incredibly weak at, or that I'm incredibly strong at. But let's go have a look then. Coming down towards the line, the DRS Open, hitting 226 miles an hour as we come across the line. We got up into P4 there between Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas there in Q1, which therefore left me down in P16 overall, guys. We made it into Q2 by just 1,000th of a second in the end there, which I think was, you know, pretty damn incredible. You know, we opted not to bother with the second lap, and luckily it just about paid off, if I do say so myself. So yeah, Carlos Sainz, they're getting a bit unlucky, you know, not getting into Q2. But we didn't really push the car too hard, and unfortunately I don't think my teammate's made it into Q2 either. No, he does not. Down in P20, not a very good lap by my teammate there in the end. But let's have a look then, moving on into Q2, coming down this long front straight once again here. You know, hoping that I'm hoping, you know, actually we don't get into Q3 in this session, just so we've got the fresh tyres ready for the Grand Prix tomorrow. But we're going to P7 there, guys. And that was, I was hoping, you know, wouldn't be good enough for Q3. But having a look now, we're still up in P7 at the stage. We've actually set a purple final sector there. So we've obviously got a lot of good straight line speed on the car. But unfortunately there, guys, I never thought I'd say unfortunately about getting into Q3. But we have done so. There was a Mercedes lockout on the front row from Q2 with Daniel Ricciardo 3rd, Sebastian Vettel 4th, Felipe Massa, my new rival, 5th, Raikkonen 6th, myself 7th, Verstappen 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, and Fernando Alonso down in P10 there, guys. So rather annoyed that, you know, I got into Q3. It means we've got one less set of tyres that we can use in Q3, because obviously there's no way I'm going to be able to do a lap on this set of soft tyres. But obviously now it just means that we can try and go flat out in Q3, see what position we can get up to, and hopefully, you know, bang out a really good lap, because obviously there's no point just qualifying in P10, because it gives us the worst possible position ready for the Grand Prix. But then coming down towards the line there, guys, obviously last time out at Canada we actually binned it on my final lap during Q3, so hoping, you know, we don't repeat that today. But coming down towards the line, what time are we going to set? It's going to be a 1 minute 41.4 there, guys, and that's put us up in provisional pole there, guys. Doubt that'll last, though, by the end of the session, as though Hamilton already crushes my hopes and dreams. But only goes a 10th quicker than myself there, guys. And at the end of the session, as we can see, we actually managed to hold on to P3 there, guys. My best qualifying so far in this career mode, just behind the Mercedes there of Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Just 1/10 off pole there in the end. Very impressed with that. Kimi Raikkonen 4th, Daniel Ricciardo 5th, Sebastian Vettel 6th, Nico Hulkenberg in a very strong 7th place, Felipe Massa 8th, Fernando Alonso 9th, and Max Verstappen having a very poor Q3 there, down in P10. We're just having a look now at the rivalry. Obviously, we're leading that after our very strong performance in Q3, and we're still miles up in the purple, guys, on the team objectives. So there we are then, guys. This is looking very, very strong. Ready for the European Grand Prix. We're actually going to go for another upgrade on the car. We're going to go for the fuel efficiency there. You know, we really want to make this car better on the fuel. But let's just move then on into the European Grand Prix.
Senna's famous Donington win in 1993 to Stewart Grand Prix's only victory with Johnny Herbert at the Nürburgring. The European Grand Prix has some special entries into the Motorsport Hall of Fame. But it's time now to create new legends and new memories here on the shores of the Caspian Sea. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. Anthony Davidson joins me today as we look ahead to something just a little bit different. It's quite high speed for a street circuit here, isn't it? Do you think that's going to throw up any unexpected situations?
Well, as long as the teams can keep everything cool, I don't foresee any particular big issues from a technical side of things. I do expect the track to be quite slippery though. We've not exactly had much chance to rubber in the surface. Any street circuit also comes with its own challenges, so I think we'll be seeing a few mistakes here and there. The smart strategy will be to expect a safety car, I think, especially early on when the pack is bunched up.
Okay, you've qualified higher than we expected, so let's try to build on this position throughout the race.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Nico Rosberg is on pole position today after coming out on top of a difficult qualifying. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have a Sauber, Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Vettel, Hülkenberg, Massa, Alonso, and Max Verstappen, Perez, Gutierrez, Pascal Wehrlein, and Harry Anto, Button, Kvyat, Carlos Sainz, and Valtteri Bottas, Grosjean and Ericsson, Kevin Magnussen, and Jolyon Palmer rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we are then, guys, on the grid, ready for the European Grand Prix. My best start so far of the season, guys. Hoping, you know, we can get good start into Turn 1. Obviously, it's a very, very easy one-stop race here today. Tyre wear isn't too big an issue around Baku, so, you know, we can try and get the softs to pretty much as far as we want to during this Grand Prix. But if we have an issue any earlier than that, we can always go on to the mediums. But 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for the European Grand Prix there. The lights not seeming to want to go out, but Kimi Raikkonen gets off to an absolutely lightning start, as well as Lewis Hamilton on that side of the circuit. Lewis Hamilton has made some move up into first place, but Raikkonen gets caught on my front end there, and we've lost half our front wing, and that has been a very, very messy first corner there. Not really too sure what happened, but Raikkonen just sort of chopped in over me there and just didn't give me the room, so we both lost part of our front wing there. Just having a look at the damage, we've already got an orange end plate there, but whether I opt to pit or not at this stage of the Grand Prix, obviously the mediums will probably struggle to go really this far into the Grand Prix. We may remember to stop this race, and that's really not what we want. So we'll have to wait and see what the damage is like on this opening lap. You know, we're still keeping up with Nico Hülkenberg because we run incredibly deep into turn 4 there, but you know, hoping we can still potentially do well in this Grand Prix. We got Max Verstappen now right behind us. He's had a very, very good start from P10 on the grid there, guys. But hoping, you know, now moving on to lap 2, as you can see, we got Felipe Massa now, right behind us. So we got a red front wing there. We've obviously dinked it somewhere else along the track. I'd guess that would be turn 8. But now coming on into turn 6 here, what is Felipe Massa going to be able to do? As we run it over the curbs a little bit there, Felipe Massa gets an incredibly good run out the corner. We're going to give him the room on the outside. We've got Max Verstappen having a look down the inside as well into the next corner. But is he going to be able to make the move stick? No, he does not, but gets incredibly good traction out the corner there, guys. And Felipe Massa moves up into P6. Did not want to be going side by side through there. But now we've got a puncture, guys. Rio Haryanto has now been put in the wall. We are completely out of shape here, as you can see. Just now trying to avoid every other car on the grid. We've given a nudge by Sergio Perez. He's pushed me into the wall. I've lost the back end. We've tagged us out at Force India there. We've been hit by a Renault. And we're upside down on the roof, guys. No idea what's happened there. That was all too quick to commentate, guys. So we'll have to have a look there. But there is one thing that we are sure about now, and that is that we are out of the European Grand Prix on only lap 2 there, guys. Not really what I wanted to happen today, but as you can see, just coming into the next corner, we're so out of shape there, guys. As you can see, we just get tagged by the Force India coming down this next straight. That puts us into the wall. We hit the outside of the wall. We get bounced back into the circuit there. Tag the Toro Rosso. He goes up on 2 wheels. The McLaren Honda comes into the back of him. We get tagged by one Renault and then the other, and that's when we get flipped over, guys, and rip off the wheel. But we have ended up upside down in the European Grand Prix there, guys. Definitely not what we wanted to see here today. So you can see, having a look from my cockpit cam here, the hand of rage has gone up already. But just having a look then, guys, this is where we got tagged by the Force India, and this is when it all went wrong. Just having a look from his point of view, yeah, he does definitely tag us there, guys. That puts us into the wall. We hit that little bit that knocks out there from the wall, and that's when, you know, we get a little bit feisty with all the other cars. You know, there's just not really a lot we can do there. As you can see, we get hit by the wall, damage the wall again, just goes straight into the path of the Toro Rosso there. Couldn't do nothing else to avoid him in that situation. His rear end gets completely lifted up. Obviously, he's got no control over his car now. The McLaren Honda somehow squeezes through the gap there. But just having a look now from the Renault's point of view, you can see one of the Renaults just tags me there, and the other one pretty much just goes into the car there. Both tyres get knocked up from both cars there, guys, and that's what causes us to flip over, guys, and we're on our roof. And that is us at the European Grand Prix there, guys. A crazy, crazy crash, to say the least, and that is definitely not what we wanted to see here. As you can see, just skidding back into the Renault's path there. The Renault was also out of the Grand Prix, but obviously we are very, very lucky to be able to walk away from that crash there, guys, in the end. A huge, huge crash for myself. Obviously really testing Baku's safety to the max there, guys. And that was just one of those crashes where there was not really much we could do. We kind of got out of shape through turn 8 with our little front wing we had. But Toto Wolff there, guys, very, very heavy, which means obviously not too surprising that Mercedes have won another Grand Prix this season. But Lewis Hamilton further extends his lead at the top here, guys. You know, it's not looking too bad for him at the moment. He's got about 35, 36 point lead, if I'm not mistaken, at the top of the championship at the moment. But we see a Ferrari on the podium as well as Nico Rosberg. I think Nico Rosberg might be down in 3rd place. But there is Esteban Gutierrez in a very, very solid 7th place. You see loads of cars just deciding they're going to be one car together. Not really too sure what that's all about in this game. But Lewis Hamilton wins the race ahead of Nico Rosberg, and Kimi Räikkönen rounds out the podium there. So the top 3 through turn 1 maintain the top 3. Obviously, you know, they didn't get caught up behind me and whatnot. But Lewis Hamilton, the winner of the European Grand Prix at last. Obviously, last time out, we saw Marcus Ericsson actually take the win back in my Force India career mode. And not too sure who won Season 1. It might have even been me, if I'm not mistaken, if I can remember correctly. But obviously, there we go then, guys. An absolutely fantastic win for Lewis Hamilton. Unfortunately for me, guys, our first DNF of the season there. Really wanted to try and get through as much of the season as we could without getting any DNFs. But there we go then. Sebastian Vettel finishes 4th. Felipe Massa on a very, very solid 5th place there for him. Max Verstappen 6th. Esteban Gutierrez, as I said, in 7th. Danny Kvyat in P8 after he was involved in that crash at the beginning. But then we got Valtteri Bottas 9th, and Jenson Button rounds out the point scorers there, taking home 1 solid point for McLaren Honda. We got Romain Grosjean 11th. Fernando Alonso in 12th. I think we're going to have a maximum of 20 finishes in this Grand Prix. So at least my teammate, you know, has had a top 20 finish. Hopefully here today. But obviously that's Lewis Hamilton further extends his lead in the championship. We saw a very, very good result actually from, who's that, Danny Kvyat there, who goes from P16 to P8 there in the Grand Prix. And Esteban Gutierrez going from P12 to P7 there. But also Valtteri Bottas went from P18 up into P9 there in the end. So that was very, very good for him. Daniel Ricciardo finishes last after he had to 2-stop that Grand Prix. Ken Magnussen 19th, Rio Haryanto 18th, Carlos Sainz 17th. My teammate now, Marcus Ericsson, down in P16, Nico Hulkenberg 15th, Pascal Wehrlein 14th, Sergio Perez 13th. And obviously we've rounded out all the other guys there. But let's just move then on into the standings. You can see we've been demoted to P12 there by Felipe Massa as he has jumped us in the standings. Lewis Hamilton now has a 49-point lead over Nico Rosberg there, guys. So he really needs a big turnaround of events. But just having a look as we can see all the drivers that still haven't scored, including Carlos Sainz, has another did not finish there, guys. Really not looking good for him this season. Toro Rosso may consider having to give him the boot. But we've stayed level down in the constructors standings up in P7. Thank you for watching, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.
So promise that you'll catch me.